Are you in your own made prison? That's the question of the day. Hi everybody, welcome back. If you're returning viewers, if you're new, nice to have you. I'm Naveed. I like to share my experiences and everything that I've learned in the last 54 years. And I hope that this resonates with you. All right, that's the question. Do we build our own prison, the worst possible prison that we can imagine? And all the philosophers and gurus and sages from the past, they always talked about that. They always did. So what should we do? What it is that we can be free of that prison. And the prison that I'm talking about is here, the mind, the thoughts, the narrative that we have for ourselves that is unending if we allow it, if we are unaware. So let's break free of that prison of mind, the monkey brain, the narrative of the past, all the things that we were either told by society, by external sources, that we are not good enough, that we are not capable of, that we are simply can't, and will fail. And that's not true. So the idea is to dispute the validity of the thoughts that we have. And how are we going to do that? If we are going to break free of our own self-made prison, we need to test the validity of our narratives. And you can see that is totally false. Because there are two factors, and the two alone that is creating that much of a prison boundaries within us. One is the concept of holding to the past narratives, holding to the past stories that either we were told or we were subjected to, and sometimes in an indirect way, especially during our childhood and when growing up. And I see that over and over again in many lives around me as well as my own. So that's number one. We need to test that validity. If somebody's telling me that I'm not good at some certain things or I am not capable of, well, is that true? I have a story for you. I applied to a few years ago, this is now goes back 28 years now. I applied to a teaching program to become a teacher after my bachelor degree. Out of the 5 universities, one university, and that was the first one that actually returned my application, as in responded to my application. They said that I was not qualified. However, they figured that out, that I can become a teacher. I'm just applying to become a teacher, to go through the training, because it was a year program, an intense program. This is in Canada. And that was 1 out of 5. And then I still remember that I took it pretty hard at first. And then I realized I applied to 4 more. So let's wait for them. And it turned out that all other 4s, they accepted me. And then when I finished my program, my teaching program, which I ended up being at the top 1% of my class at that time through the teaching program, I sent that letter that they sent to me with my supervisor's final evaluation back to the university and just let them know that they made a huge mistake. And yeah, at one part, I gotta tell you, there was ego talking because I needed to prove, oh, I'd made it, but I kind of knew at that time. But I have to be honest, it hit me hard. It did. Because what do you mean I'm not capable of becoming a teacher? I knew that I wanted to. I knew that I was good at it because I was doing tutorials and tutoring and being part of college and university throughout the years, including my high school. It goes back 35 years now. I was tutoring my peers. That's the perfect story right there. That somebody, some external source telling us that you're not good enough. And you know that's a lie. Don't accept it. Don't you dare ever accept it. You know that you're not. You're capable of much more, and you know it more than anybody else. It's just a matter of what it is that is meaningful to you and the reason behind it, why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, that's number one. So that the holding thing that I mentioned, number one, we hold on the certain the narratives of the past and we create that prison for ourselves. And then here's another one, is the avoidance. Avoidance, this concept of we're avoiding the history to be remade again. So we're doing the same thing, but this time we are using that narrative and we are trying to avoid it for the future, and we are constantly in battle of our own history that was a fallacy to begin with. Do you see how ridiculous this is? That we create our prison in two different separate ways, but they both create the same suffering, which is terrible, which is just doesn't make any sense. So let's not do that. And the good thing is that the moment you realize that holding of the past does not make sense, you have to throw all of that away, completely free, become free of all of that in the past, that you are whatever you decide to be, not based on the conditions of the past, of what people said or what external circumstances you had to face, but that you are who you are and you choose to be and what you want to do. When you deal with that and you free yourself from that, then the concept of avoidance is going to be a moot point anyways, because there's nothing to avoid. And what it shows up is pure possibilities, pure awareness, and this realm of existence becomes your playground, that you choose what you want to do now. And this moment is the moment that only exists and nothing else. So you decide and you become the architect of your own life in every possible way. I hope you found this useful. I'm Naveed. My purpose, my only purpose to make this channel is to help others based on my own experience and share my own experience and knowledge that I have gathered, and I'm continuing doing that. I hope you're well. Hope to see you again. Be well, my friends.